Quick mention before the video starts, almost this entire video is going to be spoiling the end or near end of the demo, so if you haven't played that and you still want to do that, then go ahead and download it on the Edge page. Thank you. Hello there everybody, Dash here again with yet another devlog video for Disharmony. Quite a bit of stuff has happened since the last video, so let's just jump right into it. First of all, in the last video I showed off this inn right here, but there wasn't really much to see. Now there's actually an interior. It isn't finished at all, but at least there's something to see and something to interact with. This inn is somewhat significant to the game's story, so it's one of the first buildings I worked on. Another tiny addition to Whiteridge are the trees on the edges of the map. I really don't like invisible walls in games, so I want to imply that there's something they're blocking your way. So you can see some trees sticking out just outside of the camera's view. I was playing Final Fantasy XIV with a few friends for the first time yesterday, and I found myself annoyed by a plethora of invisible walls everywhere. This kind of thing really bugs me, so I added a few trees. Why not? Something else that's a little more interesting is that, like I said in the last video, I have been working on a lot of sound effects and such. But it isn't just sound effects, it's the music as well. You might remember seeing the tavern here several times throughout the devlog videos and of course the game's trailer over on Kickstarter, and something special about it is the jukebox in the corner, as it's actually the source of the music. What's special about it is that it creates diegetic sound. What that means is that the sound is actually there in universe and the characters can hear it. You know, when you're playing a game like Super Mario Bros., Mario can't actually hear the background music, it's just there for the player. But in this case, the sound is diegetic, meaning it's actually there. A good example of this is the music in Luigi's Mansion, where Luigi hums along to the background music. The actual strings and background sounds aren't actually in the mansion, but Luigi's humming is. And therefore I decided to do something fun with the music. When you get close to the tavern, the music slowly fades in. Then when you enter, you can hear it playing at full blast. Then when you exit the building, it fades out again, and the further you get away from it, the quieter the sound gets. I think it's a neat touch. If you're observant, you may also have noticed a change in the tavern. This character right here used to look pretty different. You can see that he didn't originally have facial hair and his hair color was completely different. His horns also looked significantly different. As you may have guessed by the way I'm describing him, he is actually quite significant and not just a character in this one scene. Introducing Zephyr, one of the game's main characters. Zephyr, as you'll know if you've read the blurb on the Kickstarter, is essentially your guide throughout the game. He always kind of knows where to go so he can point you in the right direction. You'll find him all throughout the game, telling you roughly where to go or what you can do. He's also significant in the way that he's the first character you meet when you reach the surface. One of the things I've implemented related to Zephyr is the fact that there isn't just a end of demo screen now. Instead it fades to the next scene, which is a cutscene where you meet Zephyr for the first time. Believe it or not, this took about a whole day to animate, or quote-unquote animate, and it only lasts for about 25 seconds. Oh well, I think it looks pretty alright. Along with that, I've also added plenty of sound effects around this area, including rain that fades in and out as you enter and exit the cave here, along with similar things. Oh yeah, and I also added a staircase here. As you'll know if you've played the demo, it ends with Tay falling down a missing step of the stairway connecting Sailor to the surface. So it only made sense that if you keep going, you'll eventually find the rest of the staircase. It fades out as it gets closer to the camera, and some of the closest steps are also slightly larger. This was the best way I could give it the illusion that it was actually going upwards, if that makes sense. Another thing you may have noticed is that I also animated a sleeping sprite for Ashley sitting on the bar stool on the far left side of the counter here. I've also added more dialogue prompts and you're able to interact with more things around here. I'm also happy to announce that we have another playtester on the team. Hell yeah! Introducing Noah. Welcome to the team, buddy. It's always good to have more people helping out, and it's a good thing because Noah is the first playtester on our team who isn't used to playing rhythm games, which has led to me realizing something. The game can be pretty difficult, at least if you're not used to this kind of gameplay. Noah isn't the only person who's expressed that it was difficult. Another friend of mine who tried playing the game also found the first battle to be quite difficult, and he's probably never played a rhythm game in his life, so I can absolutely see why. I'm still thinking about exactly how I'm going to balance this. I think I'm going to make the first battle a little bit easier, and I'll probably be adding some sort of assist mode to the game as well. I don't really think I want to have difficulty options. I think an assist mode like in Celeste or Super Mario Odyssey would be better, because then you can customize just about whatever you want depending on what you have difficulty with. Tay, my sister, not the character, had a difficult time playing the boss as well, since due to her eyesight, she can only see one side of the screen at a time, which makes it difficult when the gimmick for the boss is that it splits up the rhythm bar to both sides of the screen. I of course want the game to be challenging, but I also want it to be accessible, so I'm definitely gonna have to tweak the difficulty of the game in some way. The friend I mentioned earlier suggested adding some sort of training mode in case you didn't want to resort to giving yourself an easier time with the whole battle system, and I think that's a good idea. I'm not sure exactly how I'll be implementing this training mode, maybe from the title screen. Maybe there will be a mini-game early on that you can access before the first battle. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm open for suggestions if anyone knows a good way to implement that kind of thing. Also, I accidentally used the wrong brush when I drew the eyes and this happened, and it's absolutely horrifying. Sweet dreams. I think that I'll have to wrap it up for this video. I'm actually going to Malta once again in like a few hours, but unlike last time, I'll actually be bringing my laptop so that I can work on the game. Hooray! So with all that said and done, thank you for watching, and have a good day. Take a look in the mirror and cry, Lord, what you doing to me? I've spent all my years in believing you, but I just can't get no relief. Lord, somebody, can anybody find me somebody to love?